Hi, okay, so I've never done this before and I'm terrible in front of the camera, but Zoe and Antonio wanted me to do a video log rant about, I don't know, they didn't specify, but I asked on Twitter and two people said that I should do it about Buffy and Angel as a couple versus Cordy and Angel and Spike and Buffy, because anybody who talks to me knows that I hate Buffy and Angel as a couple, and I absolutely love Cordy and Angel together, and Spike and Buffy. Well, one, Buffy and Angel, when they were together, they were really boring. Angel was just so dull as a character, and I love Angel because I love David Boreanaz, and I adore him in Angel, but on Buffy, he's so boring and just so, like, brood, whine, blah, blah, blah. It's just annoying and gets tiresome very, very fast. You know, he was okay for, like, season 1, but by season 2, it was really getting, and then I loved him as Angelus, though, but then in season 3, it's like, God, just leave already. I mean, go to your own show. Go be with Cordy. Buffy just, I love Buffy, but she whines a lot, especially with Angel. I mean, with Spike, at least, hey, I much prefer her beating Spike up to her whining with Angel. Another reason why Buffy and Angel suck. There's so many. I really don't like how cheesy they are. Like, in I Will Remember You, oh my god, that, I used to like that episode, but, like, after watching it, like, twice, I kind of got tired of it, because it's just really cheesy. The way he looks at her, like, you know. Now, let's move on to why Cordy and Angel rock and Spike and Buffy rock. So, Cordy makes Angel smile. She makes him happy. You know, he's not. And we watched her brood for 3 years on Buffy, and then he goes over to his own show, and with Cordelia, he's happy. Buffy made him happy. It's not real happiness. I mean, yeah, he loved her. True happiness. He loses his soul for her, but not like cheery. Like, I want to smile. Like, you know, I'm actually enjoying this life that I have. Nobody makes him smile like Cordelia does. And also, but what I love, like when I meant to meet Charisma Carpenter, she said that this is what I've been saying a lot. Is that when Cordy and Angels, they had a friendship first. They had this bond through working together, and their friendship grew into love, you know, but because they trusted each other, they knew each other, they could talk to each other. Buffy and Angel couldn't talk to each other the way that Cordy and Angel can. They can't, you know, relate to each other that way because it's so much about the angst for them, the way that they can't be together, not just about the relationship, but just it gets sidetracked too much with Buffy and Angel. So let's move on to Spike and Buffy. Leave Cordy and Angel, because I could go on about them, but I can't think of anything at the moment. Spike and Buffy, you look at Spike and Buffy back in season 2, and it's like, you might think, well, how in the hell did they ever become a couple? But you actually sit there and you watch all the seasons, and it's like, you can see Spike, you know, start to develop his feelings for her. He doesn't want to at first, and, you know, Buffy's like, why is he in love with me? He needs to stop. But then, you know, when she comes back from heaven, after they do the spell and bring her back, Spike's the only one she can turn to. Spike's the only one she can trust, can talk to. He's the only one who can really, not exactly, understand what she's been through, what she's feeling, you know. She can't tell anybody else, and so he's really her rock through that season. And yeah, they have their rough points, obviously, towards the end. That was really bad, what happened in Seeing Red. People forget when they watch season 6 that, you know, because Spike, up until then, he's like a tamed puppy, you know. He still bites things, but you know, he's tamed for the most part, but he's still a monster, and people forget that when they see Spike, and so when they watch Seeing Red, they're like all horrified that he could do that. And you know, when I first watched it, that was my reaction. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe he did that. But like, then I realized, you know, Spike doesn't have a soul. He was basically neutered by the chip. it made him unable to hurt things, but it didn't take away his, like, desire to hurt people, to kill people, to drink blood, you know. And so when he attacked Buffy, it was just his animal finally coming out. So, but, you know, he instantly feels terrible, and not that that makes it okay. But you can see how he realizes, like, what he did was wrong. And he goes and gets a soul. And in season 7, he's like, his feelings for Buffy are just so true and pure, and you can see how much he loves her and who will do anything for her, even though he knows that she may not want to be with him. He would still die for her. He would do anything in the world for her. And Buffy realizes this, and she does love him. It takes her a long time to be able to even to admit it. And no, Spike doesn't believe it, but I do believe that when Buffy says I love you to him at the end of Chosen, that she does mean it. Because she does love him. I mean, people can argue whether she loves him, but I think she's fallen in love with him, and that it's a connection. Like she says to Angel, he's in her heart, you know. Another thing, I really hate when Angel comes on Chosen. That was like the worst part of the episode, and I was actually excited to see Angel, because I love Angel, you know, and I love him on his show, and, you know, although I've hated every single crossover they did, I mean, when they write Buffy onto Angel, she's a total bitch, especially to Faith, and when they write Angel on, he's like a totally different character. It's like nothing he goes through on Angel carries over at all when he's on Buffy, and he's just written so out of character. And in Chosen, it's like, who the hell is that? I mean, did he not just give up his son and watch Cordelia go into a coma? His son was completely torn apart by that. He had to essentially kill Connor to save him, and then he just prances off to Sunnydale, kisses Buffy, but he's all happy. No, that's not what Angel would do, especially without Cordelia, who was his rock and his, you know, tie to being happy. Why would he prance over to Sunnydale without, you know, knowing that she's, like, basically dead? So, I just hate that. I hate when he goes over to Buffy. Buffy and Angel were a first love thing, you know. First love doesn't mean only love, or forever love, or, you know, true love, okay, because just because they're your first love doesn't mean it's going to last forever. I mean, how many people fall in love, say, in, like, 10th grade, and end up marrying that person and being with them for the rest of their life? Not very many people. I'm not denying that Buffy and Angel loved each other at one point. I just think it's ridiculous to say that they love each other forever just because they were once in love. They're not in love anymore. They'll always love each other. They'll always have that love for each other that they had when they were together. You know, first love is special, you know, but doesn't mean that they can't go on to love other people, find their true loves, you know. And I do believe that Cordelia and Spike are Buffy and Angel's true loves. They are the ones that are meant to be for them. They make each other better. They bring out the best in each other. Cordelia brings out the best in Angel, and Spike brings out a softer side of Buffy that we can't always see. First love does not mean true love, and just because they're not in love doesn't mean that they don't still love each other, okay? There are different types of love, you know? People can love each other and not be able to be together. Yeah, you know, it's really hard to be angry when you're talking to yourself, because it's kind of ridiculous, but maybe once I get used to it, I'll be able to rant more, because this is probably a disappointing rant for Zoe and Antonio. Well, so that's my little rant on Buffy, Cangel, and Spuffy. You guys can tell me if you agree or disagree, or I'm sure plenty of people disagree, but hopefully lots of people agree with me. And I hate Bangel, okay? Bangel, Buffy and Angel together. I hate them, but I have a lot of friends who do like them, and so I may be dissing the couple, but if you like them, that's fine. Now, I really don't like them, and I will always be Cordy and Angel and Spike and Buffy. I'm not gonna care if there are comments about, oh, Buffy and Angel are better than Cordy and Angel, and Spike and Buffy suck, you know, whatever. So yeah, so hopefully I'll be doing more of these. I definitely want to rant about Fred and about Faith, because I love Faith. But that'll be a happy rant, hopefully. Anyway, yeah, so that's it.